Are you ready to drop the gate for the 2024 motocross season? The track is groomed and it's ready for you. This February 17th and 18th, Horn Rapids Motorcycle Complex drops the gate for the 2024 JMC Motorsports Black Widow Series. Don't miss out on the opening rounds of racing, 25 classes to choose from. Youth and adult racing classes available. Horn Rapids is ready to start the season. Are you? For all information, make sure to head over to hornrapidsmx.com and follow Horn Rapids on Facebook for all updates and other offers. We will see you there.
Pacific Northwest Motocross, are you ready for the 30 Plus 2 podcast with Gravy and Gate Drop? Let's go!
All right. Well, we chowed down on some pasta during that intro and took a swig of coffee that was obviously way too hot. So my tongue is burnt, Grayson.
Nice
Welcome
way
to
to start
30
it.
Plus 2 podcast. Grayson, how's it going, dude?
Not too bad. Just chilling over here. How you doing today?
Well, we got up at 3 a.m. We drove all the way up to Issaquah. I think that's what it's called, up past Tacoma. Went to Kirkland, then went to some other place. Felt weird about going to the restroom at the Dairy Queen without buying something, so I got guilt tripped into myself and bought myself a hamburger because I'm like, well, if I'm going to use a restroom while I'm all the way up here, because I guess Safeway doesn't have restrooms apparently, at least for customers. So there we are, and that was my day. Then we drove back down here, and here we are for the 30 Plus 2 podcast.
That's a long start to the day. What were you going up there for today? New jobs or whatnot?
Yeah, so we're gonna start out some stuff different. This is our 5-minute banter in our 30 Plus 2 podcast. I've started doing so. That's the pasta right there. I started doing some architecture, building, construction, media for a company that wants photo shoots of a whole bunch of their companies that remodel and whatnot. So that's what I was up there doing for Tabby Huffman. Thank you very much also for the opportunity doing that. And it started out the morning with me standing at the wrong building because I was tired. And I'm like, the building's closed. And then like 150 feet away was the actual building I needed to like go in and shoot. And I'm like, oh, wow, who's an idiot? You are.
Right.
So, what about your weekend and what's been going on with you, Grayson?
Just kind of hanging out, still waiting for some drier weather. We finally looks like we got some, yesterday, which was super cool. But I just chilled at home this weekend, sat around watching Race Day Live, which was kind of nice. I haven't been able to do that in a few weeks. So but doing that, just hung out, watched the WWE Royal Rumble this weekend at the exact same time as racing. So I was double screening it, just hanging out and enjoying a good relaxing weekend at home, and finally get to get outside here soon. Hopefully, it seems like.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking at my video clips on the right side and I forgot to upload the Woodland one. So we'll have to do that later. Unfortunately, Christoph was trying to do stuff really quick and we forgot the one thing, but we'll start with Pacific Northwest Racing is back. And Grayson,
Nice.
you stayed dry all weekend.
Yep.
I was in knee deep mud at points on Saturday at Woodland. It rained literally all day Friday night. and it was coming down. My canopy had so much water on top. Like, thank God Legacy has some canopies that are strong because it would have folded like a lawn chair. It was rough. Did you see any of my photos on Saturday?
I did. I saw a couple of your posts. It looked like a San Francisco recap, pretty much what was going on out there. I More power to everybody that's doing it, and that's awesome that people are still wanting to go out there and play in that, which is really cool to see. But myself now, once I got certain age, like 25 or so, 26, I was like, you know what? It's not worth going out in that kind of rain and mud anymore for me. But those kids who are trying to still chase that dream, it's awesome to see that there's still those diehards out there that don't care how brutal it's going to be.
Yeah, local riders local to me, but
Yeah.
from all the way from Idaho. If you saw the number 15, Colton
Yep.
Terry on the Loretta, as he suffered at Loretta's last year in the mud and whatnot. His dad Ryan and him made it all the way down the Woodland, and it was definitely yeah, it was muddy. I
It
think he
looked
had
rough.
flashbacks from Loretta's. Have you ever been in a situation where it's that deep and the mud is literally at your triple clamps, Grayson?
No, not I've never gone that extreme. I've had a few really good ones down at Albany, and I've done a couple woodland mudders when I was younger and wasn't doing the cleaning and cleaning up my own bike. So, but yeah, no, it's never been that extreme, but I've blown up a couple bikes now from mud, so that's another reason why I like to stay away from those.
Yeah, one of our Facebook users, for some reason, it's not telling me who's commenting, so we'll just go with how it is. He said life jacket requirements. Yeah,
Need some water wingies probably to get around in there.
I mean, at one point, I think a paddle tire for the dunes would have worked out super well
Yep.
for Woodland. But looked like Sunday, even though I dipped out, looked like Sunday was better, and they were able to go back to regular format 2 motos. But yeah, it was definitely brutal, and a ton of riders burned their clutches and whatnot. So hit up your local race shops and get yourself some new clutches because you're gonna need them.
No, I think it's awesome too to see that Woodland still runs some gnarly races like that because just like you were saying, that number 15 kid from Idaho, he's got them flashbacks of Loretta's, and why not get prepared again? Because the odds of Loretta's being muddy like that again are usually pretty good for at least a day or two.
Yeah, Tristan Pruitt has had to deal with that almost every single year that he has gone there and participated. So you get the best of both worlds. And then yeah, I have some new fancy stuff. Let's check out a quick little recap of Eugene. Yeah, you like that recap? It was nice and quick.
Came back real quick. No
Yeah.
countdown. We're just right back in it.
Yep, just right back in it. Kind of whiskey throttling like that one kid if you saw him loop off the
Yep.
starting gate. Well, there is evidence of me looping out at Mountain View. So if you really want to dig deep,
Oh no.
you can. Have you ever looped out on starting gate?
Not looped out, but I've definitely had my fair share of crashes on the starts. So
Have you made it
not quite
more
looping
than 5
out.
feet?
There's at least one time within the first 5 to 10 feet I went down, but majority of them were those first turns that snuck up on me real quick.
Yeah, well, if you really want me, I can dig up some archive footage from the prehistoric days where we rode around like dinosaurs. So, I mean, if you want me to, I can totally put some stuff together. I know
There's
we can totally roast Bryant Holt, and I have plenty of footage of, the good and the bad there.
Yeah, that could be a fun night, but that could take a lot longer than 30 minutes to an hour to do.
Yes. Shout out and get well soon to Carson Craig Miles. I know you've probably seen him before. He rides Albany all the time. Number 13 Husqvarna. He had a
Yep.
trip to Indonesia on the finish line. Unfortunately, he was battling super hard with Bentley St. Pierre, in the 65 junior class. And it looked like to me, because I saw it out of the corner of my eyes, because I had the camera up to my face, that he was a little too far on the back of the bike and hit a kicker. And I just saw his bike flipping. He lacerated his spleen. He just got released from the hospital today. So, Carson, if you're watching, get well soon, dude. Grayson, you got anything to say?
Just heal up, that's a bummer. At least he's a little younger, so he'll bounce back a little quicker than some of us. But yeah, it's always tough to see somebody go down and have an injury like that where they got to take a few days at the hospital, and that's more, just thoughts out to him and hopefully he gets better quickly.
Yeah, get well soon, dude, and we'll see you hopefully real soon. I don't know how long it takes for a spleen to recover.
Yeah, I'm not
So
even sure, honestly. That's
I've
crazy.
only done bones and muscles, so Carson, you'll let us know. But return of Carter Kruger. I know you know him. He's one of my gate drop
Yep.
riders. He surprised me
Yep.
yesterday. That made me super happy and whatnot. That dude is so rad. And straight off the couch, literally grabbing starts, getting the third overall in the open class and second overall in the junior class. I mean, dude, if I had like the same like energy and whatnot, like all these riders do, like, dude, I'd have more trophies behind me, but obviously I just
Right.
suck. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, the
I don't
the
know.
kids nowadays, I feel, they've got so much more energy now, and the bikes, I feel like, are even better than what we used to ride. But there's no excuse. There's obviously people who knew how to figure it out way better than we knew how.
Yeah. You could tell by the final moto, he was sitting down like me, and he was toast. Like, put a fork in him, he's done. Luke Cook won both, I believe, intermediate and the open class. That kid is on fire on the 777 gas. I know you've captured a
Yep.
bunch of him
Yep.
at Albany, and can't wait to see what his 2024 looks like. Anything else PNW moto wise before we jump into highlights of the 250 class and rename our show to the Levi Kitchen Show?
No, I think we're good for now. But I think it's really exciting to see that the weather's clearing up and a lot of people are getting out there and starting that season early. We're still pretty early in this year, and hopefully we got a lot more riding to do here soon.
Yeah. We'll be jumping straight into everything. As you can tell by our intro, February 17th and 18th, Horn Rapids Motorcycle Complex Black Widow opener. I will be there, so I will be filming more stuff. Grayson will probably come out of his cave at some point, hopefully.
Pro-
If
Probably
you
the
want to,
end of the month or so.
yeah. If you want to support any of us, which that would be a topic we're going to get into after we do a quick recap of what we saw in Triple Crown Racing, like it goes a long ways for all of our media guys. So we can continue to promote the sport and the coolness of the Pacific Northwest. So we'll jump into that topic a little bit later, but Triple Crowns, you wanted to open up and say that you didn't really care for Triple Crowns, blah, blah, blah. They're lame. They're boring. Am I wrong? Am I right? What is your take? Because that was pretty exciting. Did you have to eat your own
My
words?
So don't get me wrong, the racing is usually really good with Triple Crowns. I'm personally not a fan, but I did a little story on my Instagram the other day, and I would say everybody but myself and one other person enjoy the Triple Crown. So, but I the racing's great. Nothing against that part of it. It's just I feel like there's not as much of a chance for that privateer to make it into those mains. I love the heat race. I love the LCQs. You know, I feel like there's way more possibilities for that little guy to sneak in there on these, normal races. And Triple Crowns, I feel really favor the factory and the top guys for the most part, and which is great for TV and it's great for some good racing in the championship, the hunt and whatnot. But my personal favorite is seeing the privateers be able to make those night shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. One of the things that, I mean, if we were going to do a Bone the Pig segment, which I'll have some more about that later, something that, like, for example, Steve Mathis has brought up, LCQ races. Why can we not show those like right at the beginning for the live broadcast and whatnot? Because some people like
Right.
me who are 6 feet deep in the mud at Woodland, we don't have time to watch race day live, and that's where all the action is. And I mean,
Yep.
you can take it away if you saw anything crazy there because you were our on track
On track,
reporter
yeah.
on the television. Like, did you see anything
On
crazy in
couch.
that LCQ?
The both of them were pretty exciting. One of my favorite moments. I've always been a fan of Rod Bell for the last few years, but when he came in hot, I believe it was on John Short there for that final transfer spot, which was pretty cool to watch, you know. But like you were saying, that'd be nice to have that actually on the live broadcast for people to watch. It's always great racing. It's, you know, they're not the top of the, you know, box riders, but they're some of the best in the world, and we should be giving them some more airtime as well. But yeah, no, that the LCQs were pretty crazy. That, you know, was it Billy Laninovich sneaking in there for his first main event too, which was really exciting to watch, which would have been great to have on TV because I feel like that would have gave him some really good, you know, airtime, and feel like we kind of missed that having it on the Race Day Live and having it what, like 2 hours before the night show even starts.
Yeah, and I noticed Racer X and I think Vital, they did recognition on Instagram, like,
Hmm.
hey, a 40-year-old
Yep.
made the race and everything. So that was really cool. But I mean, yeah, just like I said, like I don't even know, like you just show up and it's like, here we are, Triple Crown. It would be nice to have like,
Yep.
hey, a little quick recap, even if they did
Something.
it like the KTM Junior Challenge where they do like a quick
Yeah.
45 seconds, which that'll be a future rant. But like
Right.
just a little bit to see like where did we get there? That's like the only thing that just like I miss when it comes to Triple Crowns and whatnot. And then I got pasta sauce on my face. But yeah, it's just that I would like to see that how Laninovich
Yep.
made it in, and but then it's my own fault for not watching it. So I
But
mean,
it's hard.
yeah,
It's harder when it's middle of the day to get there to be able to watch it. You know, the everybody is expected, you know, to get home for the night show and stuff like that, and you're going to pretty much catch everything. Not everybody's interested by watching qualifying and practice. It's not for every fan. That's just for us diehards who are weird and like to see the people that we ride with or see at our local tracks and see how well they do in qualifying, which is really fun, you know. And I feel like when we don't get to watch those LCQs and those heat races too, it's disappointing to, you know, not get all the people we want to see on TV.
exactly. Yeah, and I just found out a way to cheat so I know who's actually saying stuff. So I put
Ah,
our live chat in Pacific PNW Moto Media group because
nice.
there's more people in there and try to get more viewers from there. I did not have the balls for Pacific Motocross Northwest group yet. Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, like we were saying, and then yeah, so getting into the Triple Crowns, we start out into the 250 class, and next time when I'm not up against the wall, I'm going to replace like just our 30+2 podcast logo with just Levi Kitchen's face and just call it the Levi Kitchen Show because, dude, we
Yep.
can't stop talking about him because he's doing so good. Like,
He's consistent. Every weekend he shows up and he is one of the guys that you have to be able to beat right now.
yeah, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon because, like, in prior years and whatnot, and he's not had enough time for us to really have a full track record
Right.
because, I believe this is his second he got hurt the first season when he was number 59 on the East Coast. Like, he got through one race and then he was hurt and
Yep.
out for it. And then last year, I believe, is his second
This
season on the West,
Yep.
and he only won the Triple Crown, coincidence. But,
Right.
it was so inconsistent. It was on again, off again. Like even in the
Mhm.
outdoors, like he was on and then he was off. But this year, I mean, he is
He's
on
on.
the entire time. We only
Yep.
saw that one hiccup at San Diego, but
Yep.
he's now, I believe, tied for the points lead. And the Kawasaki, like I said, I think it really fits him. And then that whole
Mhm.
program really is working out for him. I mean, what do you see on the
Yep.
track?
No, that's exactly what I'm seeing. He's you know, he's one of the guys you really gotta have to get in front of. You know, him and RJ were, you know, going at it those first 2 mains for a while. You know, RJ caught up to Levi there in the first one, and then, you know, Levi was pushing RJ to the end of that second one, which is awesome to see. He's so consistent this year. Last year he had his flashes, you know, of consistency here and there in his good races, and after, getting that first full year under his belt, I think he's coming in way more comfortable. And like you're saying, on a bike that fits him better, it seems like, and a program that's really running well for him, which is great to see.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm Hampshire. I know the odds and the favor is like leaning towards Hampshire,
Mhm.
but I mean, don't sleep on Kitchen. He like even that was it the second main, I believe. I'm sorry that I'm not as prepped as the prior ones, but he was right there and almost got RJ because I know he won
Yep.
the first one, but like
Yep.
just soaking up that one jump, like you saw in the final like 2 sections, he soaked up that like jump over the table section, and RJ's like,
Mhm.
whoa, he is right
Yeah, no,
here.
he been quick. He was there all the way to that last turn, which is that's some exciting racing to see with those two, and I think with RJ, with his consistency, he's fast, but he's made a lot of mistakes in how many years he's been in this class now. So it's just a matter of time, I feel, before he slips up and Levi can actually probably jump up and start pulling away with some points if he stays consistent like he has been.
Yeah. And well, speaking of, well, this will be my next question is we're going to Detroit next weekend, and that is the first East Coast race. What do you feel, in your opinion? Because we don't know RJ Hampshire. Yes, we
Right.
both know Levi Kitchen, but not as super close friend. Like, yes, I've filmed him and whatnot, and we
Yeah.
talk sometimes. I do have connections to get a hold of him, but like, what do you think they're gonna do this week off? Are they gonna, because they're going to Glendale right after that? And I believe that's right back to West, so it's only a 1 week break. Well,
Mhm.
two if you want to count that. Is it
Yeah.
just go down and keep plugging away, keep the momentum up? Is RJ, do you think RJ is going to change his strategy and try to like, be more consistent, or is that really going to eat at him taking, a week break?
I don't think it's going to. I think that they're gonna have to keep pushing these next couple weeks to just, actually keep the momentum moving. Because it's not like RJ sitting in a terrible spot. It's just he needs
No.
to put his head down and keep pushing. And same with Levi. They no time off until Supercross is over and this series is done. Like these guys don't have time to be doing that. Unfortunately, it'd be nice to probably take a break for them, but they're in the thick of it right now. The regionals are halfway through their series now for the West, and it's time to really start pushing and put your head down to keep on moving and getting these consistent results.
Yeah. So point standings before we wrap this up. Levi Kitchen and Jordan Smith. With Jordan Smith, I mean, I'm not this
He
is
had a
not
rough
me this is not me crapping on him, but it has happened in the past and whatnot. You're just like waiting for the ball to drop. Like,
one.
is he going to make those prior year mistakes? And nothing was his fault. It's just it happened again, and he lost that points lead he had, and now he's still in it. He's
Yep.
tied with Levi with 84, and then RJ Hampshire, he's 9 points back. He's not too far out of it, and then Marchbank 70, and then from there it really drops off. I don't even know what to talk about with Joe Shimoda other than stay
No.
tuned for outdoors because
He
I
he
don't
he
know
came
if this
back. He made an
did.
effort back there for a little bit, but like you're saying, he's struggling. That was one of the notes that I took away again from this weekend was he's still struggling, I feel, to find his groove on that bike and that team where, you
Yeah.
know, he's got some, like everybody says, he's got some big shoes to fill. So
Yeah, and it's not even like this one wasn't even like he's just wrong place, wrong time. Like, and that part
mhm,
of being wrong place, wrong time is not getting the start. And it seems like, the problems that Levi would have at times would be the starts,
mhm.
and Levi's figured out the starts. Joe now needs to figure out how to avoid all the chaos. So hopefully
Yep.
this weekend off, he can figure out something and then come back
Right.
in Phoenix and be like, all right, let's restart, or excuse me, Glendale. I still say
Yep.
Phoenix. You're
Phoenix, same
practically the
difference.
same for me. But yeah, 1-2-2 for the overall for Levi. And then, Filthy Phil Nicoletti, he led some
Yep.
laps. And
Phil back on top again.
Tyler Oddly saw our intro and he said that was his son that looped out.
Nice.
He's
Nice.
roasting his own kid. But anyways, um, that pretty much wraps it up for the 250 class. I want to say a great job to Max Miller for making it into the night show, and
Yep.
he's getting there. Just it sucks that we both like Max. We've watched him grow up since 50 days, and it's just been a rough start of the season. But I'm happy to see the everything kind of turned for him. So hopefully with this momentum and confidence now, he can make it in the rest, because he started out so good at A1 and then
I think he's finally in a good spot now too with that Bar X Suzuki team. I feel like going from where he was on a little bit lower tier team than the Bar X team, I think is, it's definitely a good step in the right direction for him. And I think we just got bigger things to come. And I feel like Suzuki's actually putting a lot of time into that 250 team, which is really cool to see. Like, we haven't had a Suzuki 250 team in a while that's actually shown, main event results and whatnot for a very long time.
Yeah, and like Anthony Bourdon from France, I mean, the number 100, he's been doing really good. So I'll take that. And yeah, I mean, everyone always craps on Suzuki's, but it's not a bad bike.
They're great.
You just have to kick it. So
that's the only thing that's holding them back right now. But the bike itself is amazing. Like, Kenny's put it on top of the box. Suzuki's getting better and better once they get some riders on there who, can do what the bike can actually do, which is really cool to see. But yeah, that's cool. We got 2 Northwest guys on that team though too. So that's also really exciting for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I believe that's a wrap for the 250 class. Did you have any other notes to touch on? Like I said, I want to, even with you, I'd like to start transitioning more of our 30+2 podcast now that racing has resumed. Get into other topics and get into PNW Moto and kind of take the, I was gonna say take the throne. I don't want to be that. They'll do aggressive.
Claiming it already. Jeez.
I'm gonna claim it. I claim
you. Oh man.
Oh shit.
Oh,
but yeah, no, I don't think I got anything else. I think we hit every point on that one.
Yeah. So 450 class. I mean, I already kind of forgot. but no, I have some notes quickly catching on.
Right.
Anderson seemed to rebound. He's doing better. He's got to figure out how. And I listened to, as I was driving up, I listened to the recap with Mathis and Thomas and Wygant. I have to agree, and that helped jog my memory. Like, yes, he falls over. I believe that was the
second one.
Was it the second
one?
No,
third one. When he skipped the whoop.
Yeah, he had opportunity to turn back in and do it. And he did give it a little blip of the throttle. So, yeah.
Because he did end up getting docked that position, if I'm correct. I thought I saw something like that. So, which is a bummer because, like you were saying, he's rebounding this weekend with that win in the second main and then, a solid finish for the overall. So, but 4th place isn't too shabby for him. But if he would have been able to keep that 3rd overall, would have been nice. But you got to really be mindful when you're going off the track. Like, we don't deal with that much at our level of racing, but when it comes to that pro racing, you really got to be cautious on what you're doing. Like, those AMA officials, they're out for blood a lot of the times.
Oh man, speaking about cutting the track, I'm not gonna name blast the 50 kid because I'm not gonna name names, but like at Woodland, we had to do a circle track on the starting gate, and one of the kids kept cutting the code and pushing the envelope. So I walked over there. I moved the code slightly at first. I'm like, all right, I can tell by the race line this doesn't work out well. We'll make it fair for all of you guys. And then he tried it again. So I stood there while you gotta go through me, kid. But they fixed it. It was just comical. So
always gotta have them cheater lines out at that local track.
Yeah. You know how many lines creative lines I make in practice. I mean, sorry, Ryan and Robbie. At times, like when I get a little goofy off the track and accidentally hit a sprinkler head, my bad, bro. But yeah, like Anderson looked good. Consistency paid off. Oh, by the way, we have 4 winners in the 250 class and 4 winners in the 450 class now. I mean, Cooper Webb didn't win any of the races, but his consistency paid off. So for all the kids out there and whatnot, consistency does work out. I mean, look at Dungy. He did a lot of that and won many championships by just being consistent. I don't know what's going to happen in Detroit now. Is this the fire that makes Webb go for it even harder? I don't know.
I think it is.
What's your thoughts?
I think it is after that A1 performance and running up front until his little trip to Indonesia over that little hip jump, and San Diego and San Francisco kind of races you kind of just throw out the window a little bit with the mud. Obviously points really count, but for finding out where he really sits with speed and stuff, I think this really helped with his consistency, and I think he's going to come out strong when they get over to Detroit. I luckily got him picked for my RM fantasy for first this week, so I actually have gotten something correct. So that's really nice on my end.
I think I'm gonna quit RM fantasy because we are just blowing it. But I got 25 points.
I'm not even sure what my points were, but I was pretty stoked. I got a couple decent choices in there this week.
Well, I mean, it really hurts when you don't watch Race Day Live and you put Adam Cincerello for 12th place overall, right? And then he doesn't even race that night.
That's what I did with Dino. I had him in there, and he didn't even make the main. So luckily, I was able to jump out quick enough and resubmit.
Yeah, I got nothing right. I did Ken Roczen for the overall, Jet Lawrence for second, Cooper Webb third, Aaron Plessinger fourth, fifth Jason Anderson, and then Cincerello. And then the results were Webb, Tomac, Plessinger, Anderson, Sexton, and Prado. So, I mean, they gave me some feel-good points like, hey, at least you tried. Like, the participation 10th place trophy you get at your local racetrack. They're like, hey, good job. You did it,
You gave us money. Now you leave.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'll show you.
Prado.
You want to know how I feel about it? Here, I'll show you with this clip. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about RM Fantasy. Just dumpster.
Pretty accurate for me. My RM Fantasy is just out the window, and it has been literally every single weekend pretty much. But luckily on my other fantasy I've got going on Vital right now, I'm actually not doing too badly on that one. So that one's keeping me afloat and keeping me excited for each weekend.
Yeah, I'm like Jason Thomas where I just get angry. So I'm just gonna keep sending it, and I'm not gonna win crap, but hey, at least we have talking points, and I can post more, stupid stuff in here.
I've never ever expected myself to get anything good on those. Like, it's been the worst ever since we started doing it, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, at least I can just keep doing all these clips now that I figured out how to do clips, and you can keep acting like this towards me.
I'm going to show up one of these weeks with that outfit now just because you did that.
Oh, but hey, did you watch any, before we jump back into it, did you watch any of the James Stewart podcasts that I sent you? That was freaking hilarious. That's what gave me the ideas.
Honestly have not. I've watched some highlights of it, but I've never sat and watched or listened to the whole thing quite yet. But
dude,
I like the clips. I like the clips.
James throws stuff in there. He did some Happy Gilmore stuff on the last one, and I was just dying. And yeah, he's got some talent on and off the bike, and he's found his niche. Back to racing before we jump into other stuff as we reach the +2 mark now of our 30 + 2 podcast. If you want to like and subscribe, make sure to follow at Gate Drop Productions, and yeah, hit subscribe on YouTube, share with your friends, family. Maybe we'll eventually make a page, who knows, or I'll just keep snagging all the likes and whatnot, because that's how we are. And follow Gravy as well on Instagram, Gravy_648. Yeah, you like that? Memory.
Nice little promo there.
Boom, promo. If you want to promote, if you want to sponsor our podcast as us knuckleheads who don't know what the hell we're talking about, feel free, slide into our DMs and we'll promote you.
I feel like there's some people out there that are entertained by our ridiculousness, so I think we got a little bit of value somewhere.
I did get comments at Eugene, literally on the starting gate, like, hey, we watch your podcast even though we only see a few people on there. Like, hey,
Right.
we watched it all the way through. That was cool. When you going to get people on? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, so people are
Nice.
actually enjoying this. So I
That's
may
awesome.
just, keep running the credit card and get you a better camera because I'm kind of sick
Hell
of
yeah.
this.
I know I'm starting to look at myself a little more each time. I'm like, damn, this is bad. Like, surprised that the MacBook can't handle this and be a little better quality.
I know. Bennett Rubric made fun of my hair because I already have gray hair. And I'm so like, hey, you watch
That's
yourself, boy. I
that's
have
why I'm kind of
Photoshop.
glad. I'm kind of
I
glad
have
I don't have
Photoshop.
that nice camera. I don't want anybody seeing what's coming in there or
The fact
anywhere.
that you don't have hair anymore. I'm just kidding.
No, it's all gone.
Well, I'm like, hey, watch out, you little kid. I'll make your hair gray too. But great battles all night, crashes like crazy. To me, Aaron Plessinger proved the point. He was consistent. He didn't win anything, but he got better as it went on. And I think he's here to stay unless he does another wild cowboy flippity doo-dah in Detroit next weekend. I think you're gotta have to take him serious at this point. Like
No, you do.
he's proved it in the dry, he proved it in the mud, and he backed it up again. I don't know if he'll win another one, but I would you would be a fool, in my opinion, if you don't put him in your top 5,
No, for
unless
sure. He's
something just drastic happens.
right. No, exactly. It's one of those crazy. It's got to be a crazy incident for him to not be in that top 5 right now, and I think that's very true. I think honestly, we could after that San Diego win, he's confident. He's got the red plate now for 2 rounds in a row. I think we could see another win here in the next few weeks. Not sure when or what round it could be, but I think he could click off another 1 or 2. And still be a top contender. I don't think he's going to be quite championship, winner this year, but he's going to be one of the top guys now, especially with that newfound confidence and this consistency he's had every single weekend.
This is a curious thought and question that just popped in my head. So Sexton and Lawrence, they were on Honda together.
Mhm.
And some of the things that through listening to other media sources and whatnot, speculation, like Chase wants to be the top dog.
Mhm.
And that's part of you can argue that was part of the reason why he left and went to KTM because he wants to be the top dog. Well, now his teammate has the red plate and is the top dog. What will happen if Plessinger keeps this going on? Is Sexton get a hop ship and go somewhere else?
I don't think he will. I think Sexton is really enjoying his spot right now, even not being the top dog. I think he just is really enjoying the fact that he's getting all these options with this bike that we've been hearing about, compared to what Honda and KTM have used to do. They're giving him some really good options this year. And I think he knows he's, one of the championship favorites, and AP's like a secondary for sure. But I think it might even light a little fire underneath him to push even harder to get past AP and get the red plate back on the other side of the semi.
So do they just if he gets the points lead back, do they just take the plate and just bolt it on the other one and kind of cut part of the 7 off for the one?
Right. I think they've already got a few different, printed up backgrounds sitting in that truck waiting for that already. So they're ready.
I mean, red duct tape, budgets,
Right.
bro. Just you know.
There's no KTM budget with all these vet riders out here rocking those Red Bull KTM sweaters.
That is true. That's like $80.
Hmm.
Anyways, anything else going on in the 450 class other than crashes and
Eli gets a win
yahoos and
finally,
everything?
which I think is great. I think that's going to boost his confidence going into the next couple weeks that he's proven he can get back on that top step, even though it was just for one short main event. It proves that he can get back there, I think, and that's going to be good for him over the next few weeks as well.
Man, I should have lined up the Jaws song just dun, na
Yep.
na na like
He was
oh
waiting.
crap.
He was waiting, and
Oh,
now he's there. He's finally back.
did
I
he
think
see
this
the
is
evil smile? He's like, I'm back and I'm gonna murder everyone.
Yep,
So
he's
here we
ready.
go. It's gonna be crazy in Detroit. And luckily I have this weekend off.
There you
There's
go.
not much else going on. So at least I don't think so. I don't know.
Not
Check
yet.
the sources. Uh okay. This is another topic I want to get into because we have the popularity universal favorite cowboy of Aaron Plessinger And then we've just been getting just dunked in the pool, and we're like just getting dunked and dunked again with Jet Lawrence. Did you hear the reaction after all the drama that took place last weekend at A2 and the booze?
Yep.
Oh
It's
my
insane.
God.
It that was literally insane, and coming into this year, completely unexpected, but after that last weekend and the text messages and the stories and whatnot that we've all heard about from Jason and him, I think really put a bad taste in everybody's mouth of, "Oh, my camp came out and said this, but nothing straight from Jed," is what we're hearing, so that's kinda gross to some people, and if you can't stand up and apologize or, take ownership, I think you're gonna lose a lot of fans that way.
Yeah, but also who knows? I mean, there's always three sides to a
Right.
story. Like, did Anderson just say was Anderson like a little bit of not saying the full truth? Was it,
Right, right.
I don't
We'll
know.
never we'll
We'll
never
never
really
know.
know. No.
Yeah.
But just from the little bits that we know, that's the that's what people are making their decisions on real quick in the stands is these text messages and the social media posts and all these things that people see nowadays. And a lot of people are gonna jump off that bandwagon for at least for a little bit, I think, till he can come back and rebound and prove himself.
Well, if you notice, and this even happens to me, no offense to you, Grayson, but like, you know, I am at all the tracks and, a lot of people know me and whatnot. And, I arguably am one of the most successful photographers here. And something with Jet as well. And I don't know if they did it with James and Ricky. Trust me, I'll get to the point here. When you see someone being so successful on something, you're just tired of it. It seems like society just wants to like kick the person off like the top because they're doing so well and they're doing anything. Do you see that too? Because I don't remember
And it
that in the MC days or even Carmichael days.
I don't think it was quite as big back then. There was definitely some people that you don't wanna see at the top of the mountain. Like, I know myself personally, there was some times where I didn't wanna see McGrath win every single weekend, and I was a huge Jeff Emig fan, so I was tired of seeing him at the top, and I was booing him at Washougal and stuff when I was a little kid.
All
I'll admit it
right.
today, but
Damn.
now to this day, I love McGrath, but, like, it's just one of those things where I think now with the power of social media and all that kind of stuff, and everybody seeing each other's lives even more personally, professionally, and all kinds of stuff, it's just going to want to knock those people down. And that's just unfortunately the way society is. And hopefully we can get past that someday. But,
Dude.
it does happen, but it's unfortunate for Jet right now. So make one
Yeah.
mistake and you're going to get your ass chewed.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything after Anderson's thing. So I feel
No.
like, just just move forward and
Yep.
try to do other stuff and post all your cool stuff and
Yep.
whatnot. But I mean, dude, man, the drama just everywhere.
Yep.
It
No,
goes
you can't escape
from
it.
Instagram to Facebook to YouTube to anything, and it comes from the pro level all the way down to the bottom level. I mean, you you saw what happened when I just posted a GIF. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, some
I
people
mean,
got a little upset over that one, over really nothing, which was kinda crazy.
I was just there to, just make people laugh, and it literally did this.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Seriously.
It really,
Seriously, though,
it really escalated quickly.
a couple days later, I, finally saw the post and I sat and scrolled through the entire thing, and I'm just like, "Wow, where did that even come from?" And some people just think they're on that, that high road when they're really not for some reason.
Yeah. It's just like I'm getting into this as one of my bone to picks. I'm sure you all have one too, but it's just like, you've known me in the past. I used to take stuff so personal. I still
Mhm.
kind of do at times, but I'm working on growing out of that. And I just want to joke and be kind of like how Steve Mathis and others, and have a good time. and make people laugh, because that's what I always enjoy, is seeing people smile. And then it's like, dude, don't take it so serious and whatnot. That's what I went. And then it got like hostile. And I'm like, whoa.
Right. And
Whoa.
that was literally completely out of nowhere. That one was completely uncalled for. We all want to have a good time and make some jokes here and there, but for some reason, sometimes people just don't understand. Like, wait, is this guy being for real? And then even when you tell somebody, "Whoa, I'm just joking, dude," and they still
Yeah.
can't take it. It's a little ridiculous, but a bunch of people aren't a big fan of Steve Mathis, and he seems like a decent guy to me for the most part. I don't
It
know him
must
on
be
a
a
personal
Steve
level
thing.
or not, but maybe it is. Maybe it's just Steven. Who knows?
I know I've ruffled feathers, and sometimes I'm not saying it's like 100% all me, like, and it's my fault. Yeah, sometimes when I get a little immature, I mean, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm trying not to do that anymore, because I look at the bigger picture, and like for life and everything. It's like, supporting all of our riders, trying to make everyone have fun, and just keep the good times rolling. That's why I just like, it's guilty pleasure is also like the troll a little bit, but for good reasons.
And it's okay to get on there and troll a little bit. And people just need to learn that people have a little bit of different sense of humors. And if you don't understand it, doesn't mean you need to get mad about it. So people are going to disagree all the time and have different views, but as long as your intentions are good for trying to have fun, make people laugh, and it's all right. Don't worry about trolling these people who get upset. If they're getting upset over something, that's their own problem, not yours anymore.
Yeah, that's why I really just kind of Homer Simpsoned into the hedge there. I'm like, we're done.
Honestly, best solution you could have done for that whole situation. That
Yeah.
literally escalated to a point that it didn't even need to get close to.
No, and I hope that certain person is doing well, and it was just a rough night for them, and I
Right.
truly hope the best for them.
Right. Yeah. No hard feelings or nothing against people, but we don't need to come at each other as hostile as like that. Luckily, I
No.
haven't had to cross that line or anything for a while, but
Well,
nobody needs to do that.
one thing that's great about you is that you're not as opinionated as me. I sometimes shoot from the hip, and it's sometimes not great because it'll bounce off and smack you right back in the face.
It does for sure. There was a point where I didn't think before I said something. Now I take a second. I'm like, wait, is this something that really needs to be said, or just move on?
Yeah. So, my other bone to pick before I let you do it, because this is our show, my show, our show, whatever. Dude, this is totally off topic. People in the left lane, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, if you're not gonna go fast, then I'm passing you on the right, and then you speed up. I'm like, oh!
I don't know what we're yelling about!
For real.
So many people today, because I was driving all day. Like, I get up on them, and I don't like tailgating people because I don't like being tailgated myself. And I'm like, come on, buddy. It's 70 and you're going 62. Like, and then you get the right, they speed up. You're like, oh.
No, totally. With one of my new positions that I'm doing at my job, I'm a delivery driver at least once a week, and oh man, it's progressively just every time I get on the road, it's getting worse and worse now, and the craziness that goes on the road, and the people who just don't really think about what they're doing, cruising 55 in the left lane, like Keegan just posted on Facebook, the left lane is for criminal speeds. Like, for real, if you're not pushing yourself to get pulled over by a state trooper, then why are you even in that left lane? Just cruise in the middle or the right. Just make room. Come on now.
Even a semi, bro. A semi was in the left lane, and I had to go into the carpool lane for a moment, and I fly as two-spirit, and then cross back over because I'm like, bro.
Yep. No, for sure. It's bad. It gets worse and worse depending on where you're at too. It's from here to Portland, from Salem to Portland on the freeway. Some of the worst drivers I've experienced.
Bruh, try freaking my location. I was gonna say it, but I got hate. Say where I'm at. My location past Tacoma, back through. Like, oh my God. Anyways, you got any bones to pick, or was that pretty much it for that?
No, I think you got that one covered this week. I don't have anything quite as off the top of the dome right now.
I know certain people probably watching this like, oh my God, Kristoff's off the handle again.
Oh no, we grab the leash, tame him down a little bit.
What? I forgot what Steve said. Is it Hannibal or whatever? The guy that like he comes out, he's like in a freaking
straight jacket.
Yeah, straight jacket. I think it's Hannibal.
Yep. You got the mouth cover, to stop you from just rambling.
Yeah. Well, we are now. We got let's do 10 minutes left. If we don't get to it, we're 50 minutes in. We're trying to get this more Pacific Northwest organized and whatnot. Oh, we forgot one of the most exciting things that went on. And I did contact also one of our local riders, and unfortunately he was busy today, but we'll get him on eventually. Peer pressure will set in. But the futures race was off the hook. Oh my God.
No, that was a solid race.
Dude, the battle between Towers and Cole Davies, like, dude, they were
the whole time
going for it.
The whole time. And I think it's so cool. I remember watching Towers a few years back up at Washougal and becoming a fan of him at the regional, and he's just killing it. And I think he's going to be one of the next up and comers within the next few years to run with Deegan and whatnot. So I think it's really cool. And then Davies is, I've never heard of the kid before. I've seen a few Instagram posts about him. Yeah. And I heard that, he's on like a 5-week tryout with the Troy Lee team, which I think is really cool. Like they moved here to be like, hey, let's see if we can do this. And then we'll make a decision where we're going to go. And I think the decision's almost made after this weekend, proving that he's running up with the top amateur rider in the country right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have accurate news or not. Yeah, whatever. No? I don't care. I think it's just a standard 5-race tryout just for his family and himself. And if he ain't cutting it, then he's getting cut. But I could be wrong. But I think that's what they said. But either way, he's on a gas, and Troy Lee's probably going to pick him up. So let's be real.
No, after that, yeah, you can't not want to try to pick him up for the next couple years at least. He's got potential, but back a little further in the race, with going back to Preston though, not really getting a lot of airtime, unfortunately, but quietly creeping
up.
Our
local bias, though,
Right, for sure. But I honestly did think during Race Day Live this last weekend, we got a lot of Northwest guys coverage on the live stream, which was really cool. It was kind of one right after the other, which was super cool. But once we get to the main night show, it's kind of like, oh, we just got Kitchen now, and that's about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, luckily, Preston Baselug, he's on fire. He's going to debut next weekend in the pro class, I believe. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Preston. If you're watching, why don't you hop on here, boy?
I think I saw him make a post about how that was his last amateur race and he's debuting at Detroit. So
East Coast, based off some of the videos and whatnot I've seen. Luckily, he's on a Suzuki. So even though they were watching, and the videos were watching the main thing, I'm like, where's Preston? Where's that yellow fender? There he is. Oh, he's up there. Like, the coloring is perfect because he's the only one out there on a Suzuki. And dude, he made it up to 4th. I mean, if it was a 32, he probably would have been up into the top 2 as well because the dude was on fire.
Yep, for sure. Because what did he end up starting around 9th or 10th or something like that? And
I believe he was
the race is on, and then the race is super short, and getting up to 4th and not having a whole lot of Supercross experience, I think that's great, and it's going to show that there's going to be some good things to come from him, I hope.
Yeah, and one thing that annoyed me a little bit was they never showed him. They showed him barely because they focused on the 2 monster riders behind him that were literally doing nothing. But whatever.
The 2 brothers just kind of bouncing around together that weren't making much progress forward, it seemed like.
They actually went backwards. They started out up towards the front, and then and it's probably just because of Monster Energy, Supercross, Monsters, sponsorship, all that. But I wish I don't know if it's. Do you watch football much? I think it's like YouTube or whatnot, where you can literally pick cameras now and whatnot, so you don't miss certain things, and then click around. That would be cool
Yep.
innovation for Supercross, because obviously there's more than one camera out there,
Yep.
and just hop over it, and
They
that would be
just have
something
it
cool.
live stream, that would be cool. Give you, like, a selection of, 10 different cameras around the track or something, so you don't have to watch the top 2 guys that are just running away from everybody and actually watch some really good battles between equally matched riders and whatnot would be super cool to have, but, like, unfortunately, our sport's not quite to that level of an NFL or NBA,
Yeah.
so maybe one day we'll get there or something similar, even if they just gave us a few cameras to choose from to watch something different would be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, the Ghostbusters thing was pretty cool. It's nice that they
That was cool.
implemented that in, and then that totally
Yep.
made things work out. Bringing in
No,
outside
that
sponsors. I remember back in the day, like Spike
mhm,
TV was part of the thing, and then
mhm.
I don't know what else did we
I
have other than
I
Supercross the movie, which was lame sauce.
get it hey, whoa, 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 whoa. It was
Whoa,
lame. It
whoa!
was lame. Whoa, whoa. I'm sure there's some people who stand with me. Yeah, lame, but we don't knock it. We don't knock it. But no, like I remember like back in the day, Carmichael, I think it was, or Tortelli on the Honda, and they had like the Scorpion King graphics. We had some Jurassic Park there for a while. It's always super cool when we can actually get some really big outside names and sponsors. Like Troy Lee's done great with that by bringing in Sony to sponsor his team. They've had the Venom kit a couple years ago at Washougal, which was really cool. It's super cool to see these outside things coming in. And I saw the plaques that they had for the whole shot this weekend were pretty cool with the Ghostbusters themes. Instead of just giving the guys like a giant paper check, they actually got kind of a cool little trophy to take home when they got them whole shots.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, that's something I don't know if you've seen the Supercross trophies. No offense, we're never gonna make Feld
Oh,
anyways. We might as well just
right,
talk crap anyways. But like their
right.
trophies are kind of But like
They're
that's what
yeah,
makes motocross cool is like each track has a unique one. Huffman always has something up his sleeve. Like I know one
right.
year they got guns. I think at like the Tennessee one,
Yep. No,
and like
I
all
I
these
love the
things.
different trophies about the outdoors. It's the customness to them, and just like the dream race, we get some really cool custom cutout trophies and stuff like that too. It's just I feel like Feld can afford something better, do something state specific or round specific would be really cool and not just give them these $4 trophies, especially the guys that are getting second and third. They're really puny. Like, do you even want to keep those? Like, this
Yeah.
is a big thing to accomplish a top 3 in a supercross race, and then you go home with a little piece of plastic that, you know, doesn't mean much. But I know most they're there to make their money and it's their job, so they're not probably as worried about it as somebody like on our level. When we win a trophy, we're like, hell yeah, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean something cool that they could do is just like for Anaheim, do the A
Yeah,
or
hey, yeah,
whatever, or
yep,
the classic whatever they have up in the parking
yep.
lot, like that cool thing with
It
the spiral and all that.
Everybody knows that that's one of the most popular baseball stadiums kind of in the area. Why not give them like a home plate that's like all decked out with monster logos and stuff like that? Just something cool and random.
Oh, and then also it's 50 years of Supercross. I mean, at least you could
Yep.
make like a collage or something. This is just me
Hmm.
media thinking, like make a
Right.
collage trophy of like 50 years of, hey, who
Yep.
won Detroit in the last
Yeah.
50 years and either do 50 photographs of the winner or I don't know, that's a little
Just
much,
pick
but
a just pick a
whatever.
random retro winner from back in the past, and every weekend should be, highlighting maybe one of the top riders in the sport from when Supercross debuted. I think there's some missed opportunities, of course, but we don't know the inners of Feld and AMA and all that kind of stuff, and I don't really want to right now. It seems a little crazy, but
Yeah.
I think our hopes are big, which I think they're thinking financially.
Well, we had one more topic, but I think if you're cool with it and I'm cool with it, because we reached the 1 hour mark, we try to keep it under an
Yeah.
hour. We're gonna save it for next week. And the topic, which you can think on, um, what makes being a track photographer so hard? That's the
Oh,
topic I want to discuss. The pros and cons of it, the rain, the mud. But
yep,
yeah, I
for
believe
sure.
that's a wrap, and I think we're done. For anyone that wants to follow you, Grayson, how do they follow you and support you at the racetrack?
Check me out on Instagram, gravy_648. On Facebook, just my name, Grayson Robinson, and Gravy Photography. pretty much post things up on Instagram and Facebook. Just give me a shout, give me a like, hit me up in the DMs if you have something you want to hear us talk about too. Like I keep posting some, questions on my story, but nothing's really coming back. But let's just keep this rolling. This is fun.
Yeah, and this has been our best viewership so far, so we're starting to get the ball rolling. For everything you want with Gate Drop Productions on Instagram, GateDrop_pro. Message me, follow me, share my stuff if you'd like. We're just trying to promote the Northwest and show all the coolness of everything. And yeah, I would like to, and I believe Grayson would as well, start talking about the amateur racing more and see if we can get some amateurs on here. And yeah, keep it fun and entertained. And then follow me, like my Gate Drop Productions on Facebook, and you know where to find me. Put in Gate Drop Productions, you're gonna find me. All right. That's a wrap. Yep. That's a wrap for the 30+2 podcast with Gravy and Gate Drop. We will see you guys next Monday.
Later.
Who the hell cares?